Megan Thee Stallion sat down with Gayle King to talk about the alleged altercation between her and Tory Lanez. Now, I spotted 3 truths and a lie. What was Megan telling the truth about? And what was she potentially lying about? I have some new information that will answer those questions and more, kinfolk, right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified, so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. Alright, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about. And it centers around Megan's new interview with Gayle King, in which she tells us what happened the night of her and Tory Lanez altercation. Now, kinfolk, in watching this interview, there are 3 truths and 1 lie. And what we're going to do is dissect the 3 truths, and I'm going to tell you which one I think is a lie. But before we do that, kinfolk, I just want to say that, I've been very disappointed in the way this has been covered on social media. And I've been more so disappointed with the comments left by women, especially women of color, who seem to be not necessarily taking Tory's side, but taking Tory's side in this altercation. And what I mean by that is this. Black women or any woman of color that does not see what is going on really should reevaluate how they perceive power struggles between a man and a woman. Megan is the victim here. And I saw a lot of women of color, trying to take up for Tory, but not actually taking up for Tory. And they're trying to silence Meg, which is never good, because when you silence one woman of color, you're starting a trend to where other people can say, well, you know what? If her own people are trying to silence her, then I can silence her as well. And when there's a big name like Megan, it gets very dangerous because if people outside of different races or ethnicities see that Megan's own people are silencing her, then what hope does that leave for a smaller woman of color who's going through the same thing and needs protection? I thought it was very unfortunate that these women were saying things like, oh, I wish she would stop talking about it. Oh, we're tired of hearing about it. She just wants attention. And in doing so, you're not necessarily supporting Tory, but if you're trying to silence Meg, then in retrospect, you are supporting him and what he has allegedly done to Megan. Now, we've heard both sides of the story, kind of, sorta, and this will all be worked out in a court of law pretty soon. But I just want to bring it to you guys' attention that if you are on social media telling Megan she needs to be quiet or she needs to be, leave it alone, it's old news, in retrospect, you're doing more harm than help. Now, let's get to this interview. Now, in this interview that Megan did with Gayle, I learned a lot of new things as well as you guys have learned. And those new things, I did see how they could be factual. And one of those new things, I did see how it could be not factual. So, what we're going to do is take the first thing. The first thing, Tory offered Megan, according to Megan, $1 million for her silence. Now, I believe that he did offer her money for her silence. And the thing about it is, Megan was quiet when all this happened, right? She was quiet. And that's one thing that I have to give her credit on. She really was silent about this. It wasn't until Tory's team, who I feel dropped the ball, started coming up with all these different lies and stories about Megan to make it seem that she's not credible when she does decide to talk. And then they sort of gave themselves away. Why are you trying to discredit her if she's silent? Do you know that she has potential damning information about that night? Because if you do, then that was mean that you're trying to silence her to keep her from telling on you. Now, if you feel like you didn't do anything in the wrong, then you're going to be silent too and just let it play out in court or at the police department. So that part about which Tory and her team or whoever it was allegedly offering her $1 million for her silence, I can see that being true. Simply because they were working so hard to discredit Megan before she even said a word. Matter of fact, it was those games of them trying to discredit her and lie on her that actually got her to start talking about what happened. It forced her actually to tell the truth about that night in order just to clear up her name. Alright, kinfolk, the second part of what I learned from this interview that I can see as factual is this. Megan's friend texting, "Help, Tory shot Megan." Now that's factual simply because we have a text message to show that this actually happened. Which is very funny because here we go back again to women of color trying to silence Meg. Now, it was her supposedly good friend who at one point was also trying to discredit Megan. Now, some people are saying that allegedly she was paid to go against Megan, or allegedly they worked out a deal behind the scene for her to stay silent as well, to trash talk or lie about the night. All of that is alleged information. But one thing that we do know is this. Megan's friend did at one point try to throw muddy water, or try to throw mud in clear water about what happened that night. And she tried to muddy the waters with using all of these, speaking in circles and talking around herself to muddy the waters to make it seem like we don't know who to believe. But now we see that we have evidence that she texts to Megan's, I think, bodyguard or someone on Megan's team that, hey, help, Tory shot Meg. So that part of the interview, I do believe. I do believe that the friend knows exactly what happened, and she knows that Megan is actually the victim and not the other way around. Alright, kinfolk, the third thing that I do believe is factual is when Megan said that she lied initially about stepping into glass to save everyone from getting in trouble. She was trying to save everyone from getting in trouble. I can see that being factual. If you are black in America and when you have police cars surrounding you, the first thing you're gonna think is, oh my God, they're gonna shoot me. And I think it was at that night Megan said that they had to put their hands behind their head and told them to walk back towards the police cars, and Megan was limping. It was something to that effect. I have to read it. Something to that effect. And that could be very traumatizing. Very scary. You have all these flashing lights. I don't know if guns were drawn, but you have all these police officers. That could be a very intimidating situation. One you probably did not want to escalate, because if Megan was to run out the car and say, help, he has a gun, right? And he shot me. If Tory made one false move outside their car, then you see where we're going with this. It could have been a very bad situation. So I can see Megan actually lying to potentially save everyone's life. Now, kinfolk, those are the three things that I feel like Megan is telling the truth on. And I can see it's factual. Now, here's the thing that I think Megan is not being truthful about. I do believe that Megan and Tory had a relationship. Now, was it sexual? I do believe it was, but she says it wasn't. We're going to have to take her word on that. But, I do believe they had a relationship. Now, even when Megan was going at the way they were arguing, I think that sounded pretty much to me like a couple arguing. It does not give Tory a pass on what he allegedly did, but it just sounded like they were a couple. And if you're in a relationship, sometimes it gets sexual. I think that long little pause she did when Robin asked her that question, I think it just gave it away. Now, she could have been a little shy and she could have been a little, coy and saying, no, they did not. However, if Megan has to testify in court, then she's gonna have to tell the truth. I think it's gonna come out later on that they did have a sexual relationship. I just think they did, simply because the way Megan even talked about how close they were and how they were arguing, and it just had all the hallmarks of a relationship. But Kimfolk, I want to know what you guys think. If you guys have been following this trial, shout out to Tissa Tales, because she really got me to really into this whole trial thing. I thought this trial and Blac Chyna's trial was just going to be, just run-of-the-mill Hollywood situations where both teams just, gloss over everything and sweep everything under the rug. But this is some very interesting litigation and some very interesting cases. But Kimfolk, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that women of color need to support Megan more, because a win for her in this situation is a win for all women of color when they're trying to be protected from alleged abuse? Or do you think that Megan should just really just let this go, let it die down, not talk about it no more, and just continue to focus on her career? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, Kimfolk, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.